Yama adishima nyina achi ema mo akwa ba eba United Television jumede surunko a ya tuni din Adekye Nsroma the morning show of the year eno na mo hwe na no pe de kasebo di kan akwa kogu amamo ala gege bread ona na de kasebo no bre yen na yewie ye de bebodi sue na ene yebedidi e wo he ya ansa na ya sore esanse de otompa no e wa ha ena di sue no so ebi wa ha ena de ono aso hye no so ono so techi wa ha ono so wa ha ena me a mechiche di sue no so me so me wa ha international say complete nteni ye twaye no mama ne ha mo ye gi yani ye chiru yani ye wie de ene o chira na aja dom no so wi omode nti ye mama chi mama kwa bai na ye ka mo say ye da pomdu nsem be ba na fe de obokata ne bobo so wi a na ye da pomdu nsem aba na ene ye be di komo akomi ahodo bi Ghana de hye ewo Cuba Ghana suafo edo makuku Cuba so munku sua de emfa bebo o man yi ateti o munamu no enya sem kuma akroba kokora fo mahwere ne nkwa na ka me say yakoda ne o man a se biribi ba ye betwen a agigu wi a ye di mirika gidigidi na sam no so ba ye emfa da ne birisam esanse anka ye nti ye ka de pebia de fa ho keke na ye koye ba bi ene ye bedi sasem no nkomo pa na eno achi yatena se na from Ghana komo so yatumi adi na ene me pesa me de emmoa bi eye nhweso e wa brabom bo hu abo akoto se nkoto do so bebre na so do mu gu bo kasie mu anase pan mu a koto bie no bitumi pia bonten ni tete sane se ebra ba ko a wanya kwa pese opie ekono na de owo nase no enso de na pre e twe na abafam nti otumi pie na wakire wo mo ewo mu no okwa mo fa so a ofa so pie no nyina tumi apie nti ombeka mu a akopem so nyina bewu na so yemfa aboa nkrane enya hweso enkrane tumi etra ekroso nsuo omu ni nan enya bontu no mo de kroso se wei ade ne nsa eso ne yonku nsam na we de nsa so ne yonku nsam na we de nsa so ne yonku nsam na woma form woma danso nani sei na womo ma ne kosua na omato no ebinom asoa ada begu womo a ewo ho na chi na ebinom so aforo akata so na omatintenso nani a na nso ne kon kakra omo na mani saa kakra sense woma ye omo se kodo nti no omo kon kakra nso ne dane saa na matra no ko nso neja omo nyina atwa mko sana abrabo no etie enyume kwa kese omo to omo niema am yakra bi di bagana me nyed advert mo bia na mu no me ka dia kasam won so mo Champions League ya you see being sponsored by Heineken sansa no yakana bakosema eburu fio ha and sound obi tse Guinness eburu fio ha da so wo ho o hwe e car ye yusu Toyota edinye Toyota o na Toyota ena omo ye ne kakra na ba Toyota ye kwa na bakosam a so many years back BMW so many years back Nissan so many years back VW so many years back na ebra omo ye no empanifo a eba hwe obehwe so man no so sabre no enso mankasa omo die mu a their own woman so mu empeja omo a ankasa kase no anka na medu bibia ewe amaye ntobi emfa nya V8 ni akone aba ni emisa man Ghana yenso do we value our own? Do we push our own? Yeah, they no ye push. Say the be yenso dey betumi agina ni enya so faso ana make apino soap ewa he sankeja apino soap mani apino soap anka na apino soap anka ko anko different ones kwa be wura mu ama apino soap agihini na yira na enku cream wo he enku cream enku ansra enku cream ewa he Saturday night wo he ni nyina made in Ghana ni nyina yira Masai company already anan no krakas ba Ghana ha ya gu na dwuma nanso eniema ya kra nyinara ankronkro bi na hya hye obabi ɛwɔ aman yɛ krafi so no ɛna ɔman no so na sen ɔman no bɔ na adwuma no ho ban ɛna adwuma no nyiniye ɛma adwuma no gyina ɛnɛ yɛ kra mo nneɛma de ba Ghana ha na man Ghana yɛ deɛ saa ne yɛ no ana so bi di ne dwetire ewura adwuma bi mu sɛ adwuma no nyina na politicians ɛna mokwa bi so aguo nipa na adwuma esan sɛ bisusu sɛ o party A na party B nti companies ambo din apino soap ni sɛ aduan na ɛyɛ masa company nyina politics so mbudi gu no na ye wi a niema na nkasa nkrofo ne yɛ nka obefa oman Ghana sika ne nyina bɛka ha wansa fa Ghana fo mama yɛ adwuma na ka etu atumi akra ne amade etumi de na ma bi kura kwa mo no ne akɔgya ma no ni sika de aba ye gu no ɛne yɛ krasa ne ma ne fi ma no ne de ba hwɛ me bɛka asɛm ya na no pɛi na edika de tia me kasa ne sɛ ye pɛ so ma ne kɔ nanim na so ye ne ye nyina kyɛ sɛ ye pɛ so ma ne bɛkɔ nanim ye gu nkrɔfo adwuma esan sɛ susu sɛ asemesa na so bente do party na sa party bi nti me ne je pa sɛ bi hu ye sɛ owura Ibrahim Mahama wo bi cement factory holy Ghanaian eje mani so e ma ho aho asem ye Ghana ni ene cement ko 50 Ghana cedis ndi di ode be ye se jata cement be boa e ye 30 Ghana cedis e ye holy Ghanaian 1 minute bia no obetwa sa cement 120 bucks every minute se sika obenya nyina hefa na beko Ghana heya cement companies no amana ni scan be no mo de ko 30 cedis per bag o ana de ono beton asika ne obenya do beko abrochire no e 50 Ghana cedis per bag in sema ne yanka fa Ibrahim Mahama ho super be ne yan super no manga na mu ha na so ne hwe adenti ne yan value our own yan kasa ye de no ensombo ma ye me pede de ma no nkosoro yen siesie de ma no nkosoro ene China ukwaje bi China fo enti no ma se omo sa wiase no abane mo mo bosi a ensi hu ne yakituwa bi se na betum na business China ban e ma China ni sika so mfa nya adwuma ensi hu ne yakituwa bi o ma ne bum no ma ne so yakituwa bi ono so de ahode adwuma ne gidigidi onya sika na o de ko China na so na Ghana ha se businessman ekwaje besi a ensi hu no kura to bi gu adwuma na politician so a ono antumi enye innovative ehunu ko abefa so obetumi aboa ama nipa na adwuma gina ono ankasa enye bi nti no na afa kwoti kwan so gu nipa na adwuma Go for enterprise ya mawachi amanfo huna mane to bi nkonumu ebre pa na modu bebi o maduri ene nuro ni nyina ye wo Ghana ha enye ahwahoa itadi ntine yankasa tumi nso ye die mu mpagya ma no nkosoro anwrafo wasem bi omuka on se amatowo yo na wo die ene ye frɛ ye kan se ye dɔso ha bebre se bibi bana se wo hia pa me menu owo mu no ona me frɛ no kane Bible no kraka se mo ye adoye a monika ye mu fiefo adoye ansa na kwabonten nti da nti ye Ghana fo na kasa yetumi siesie akasa ye mmoa ye akasa ye businesses e ma no nsori nyina efibre nya fa hodi na ka ye boa ye ho ama companies nkete wo ma Ghana mu yesu ahye a aka Ghana ka ye nkra bibia da ene ma chese ye kra toothpick ye kra ye mfare ukasa beka ma wanhwe ya na wa no kra kwakopa enti ebra so se ye mpanifo se betafrache ni die bu a ye dwenhwe kan ni ye hu ni se o ma ne be ya efiri yan kasa enyo bi na be ya ma yen ena China fo se ye nso nyina Ghana fo so ka ho bi sakede ma Ghana fo se Ghana fo mo na monya akede ma se ma sifie me bo a yem na adwumum ye betumi akwa kokware ni se ye kase to gold wa ha ena wasensuo no enti ye boka na so sense ho no emfa no ho enti no oye ne bi okọ ne ba bi ono obi ani asem da obokrata no doso na no pay today wa ha me hu ni chache okoshe himponi today aba okoya wa ba ya mana kwa aba ama sampo kuma jesi ewo me nchen ewo ha aka ono CEO Adekye bread. Ama good morning wati.
Good morning.
Eti saying
Ayame adom.
Agusha machi.
Yeah, eja.
Yes.
Eja.
Ama pano no Adekye pano no. Sisi no ye sport.
Messi Toby. Penny sesi e.
Obesora ko
ya ma. Me ye paper review. Me nkoton pano.
When you serious business woman.
I was for mama say atop pano o TV.
Ye toda. Ye toda.
Ye serious ka wo be na ka di bia sha hanke kan ye
ya. Ye kan nka wayi.
Nanki ye di.
Say.
Onye
serious business woman. Enti ono Adekye bread no di ahoden ko ntwe bi na no pay.
Yes, me say me pay banana bread no ka che me say.
Oni bi ho.
Oye ba ko pe.
Oye ba ko pa na buy.
So omo order no. So eno me nya bi. Me ye butter, sugar, ni tea bread ni we. Ti say wo order based on way na ya yam banana bread and I say coconut bread ni aye dia ma.
Okay.
Eno no me nya obi a ne pe.
Sawo.
Nya obi a ne pe. Ka wo ye mienu. Wadu abodi a ma na busu a wodi aduru nkwadudu.
Na onya yam bread. Aso bi kan onya yam bread kan pe yam bread. Searchlight Dobokrata nso ewa ha Daily Guide Dobokrata wa ha de kwa manase echese niam ankoye kura sa hoye na esi wo ho no. Yesi kunkum achichere bosom niam na enyasem kuma kura guys nde ho nsem baba me area guys tete me nchen hai. Wo mo de baba. Mo ye be area guys. Na fe Dobokrata Daily Graphic nso ewa ha eno so nsem bebre yesi ensuo ho be ye den ensuo ebeto no. Meteorological service for kire se June July de nwan no ebeba kita ho sa na ebeba na mmom edu branke se nsuo kase tubi to na edi afori na sefo a eno no enhye da nto nti yenhye no so pa na ye bom pa se nkoba na sanse aduane ho ebe de edudue sa nsuo na edudue nuane pa nti eno se ebedi ho komo na yetumi ahwe ena afa amafo ka se an ena excavator no yenya ne hye owura asamona bugi na pose ye be hye no not until say galansefo no wo mbejai ya be hye no o masam o maka no nti eno so ye de wansam ebebremu ena o hye the chronicle nso a eno so nananu ahemfo a ewo atoymantam no mo kasa kire o mantam so afo odonyafo kwabena o kire da ko mensa se wo be ye so afo wo nya hu o mantam no mu kasa nko a wa kasa ese fa kasa tintin so ntoponko enti tumaguni kire ejaguni tumamu a anya sem kuma kra ndo kra Ghanaian Times na ya won hwe katafeto so miensa emame yesi business woman bi wonenam wanya mfie dioson na chini sa oye fragadam kra me bi ma wiase da wabu nipa 51 nipa 51 wabu amafa so sika no eko almost 1 million Ghana cedis 70 years old na oye ubese azansa no enti no works Dobokrata na hwe na onka enwasam mame na fe galamse semsemi susuaso bone ede ba enkwada ye wo ma no madidi dam no eno so ewo ho yese na chance secret for akwachi abrante bi a yese oye okotwa photo bi wo se fine fo enti culture of silence ro mo kan wasam no anye bia ye no kore bibia na yese achi nipa na eno so asam ewo Dobokrata the Herald mu a ye behwe na ye kan no so ho asam na Christian Council ene sa GS some ni Muslim some me dem stress adwobre nkwada ne dachi ne hia nkwada ne humasu e betumi akoda ne ne hia anyesa dembi bankora ne tirimu a emo aye kora Daily Dispatch nso excavators no omso wo munya hye ombekoso hye saa ena ewusu bempa okay the Ghanaian Observer ha ena ayi na yenya ne tie se manfo pokwase ne John Tay area hono woman na kra no bum na any mo area hono te any machi
Jana
any mo do machi
aja ka rame joso
hello anim
aja me joso
aha anim na yese mo na adai
aja eme amaduade eno amaduade chien ne ti ahomachi na sa na jupa mbo be duba ko eplebe pim no mi ensande obi nim uze interchange me meti fanti gita so na ni chefe Then I do 11 to 12 na ja start it's a pump. I didn't blast to Korea to Korea na blast na ja what that dem a e wo so to say the earthquake business. Na okay wa untumi entia the words about am ye sorry ye di ani edi eti no uko gina main road ni mo White House ni mo na wo se nipa wo flyover no mo ye de to so na wo se nipa eti eye kuma wo so ba de no so to aneto say ye dynamite say ye no ka say ye den ja untumi ba de say nipa wo White House ukwa se ebi any 20 years eja do na to ya na do be to ba ko dunye no ana do no mi ntia na de njai
kwaku me hu se kania be so pum se o ma na se de atoko wiem na ye no a
eja kwabra no soko wiem ta na poti te bombo no wo so dan se de ni nim se ye eduma no mo ye ni bio ba na ye se ma ye bita area for ni bita ni se bibi ni aye eduma ye ama o man ni na banka ibia yenyi asute kata bibi se be ko so ntino anadumo tekra mama mugu ya ntifi enu an se ekoso sa 50 anadu dumi nduba akoko dumi mbeto ahomachi no miensen se boom no de ene wo so dan te de earthquake bi na enti no ene wo di wa won tiate afede ni ye wo area do na sorry a untumi wura wo dem kwa wa akwada bi ko wonim de eba na nse ade asentie ko wiemu ta na so light ni peja wo wiemu ta na ato ewia na wusie bi di achi eda odi wa won tia te se duma ni bio ba duma ni bia na dia manfo kan te den ya wo senke bia amanfo to all hours adie kana so ndi kukos be na o twi bia ansa na amanfo so ke ibi se be ko so ntimutia nya ade o te ebogu pase ye ti wa ye nim hwita na ne de eja babra se duma ni bia ampanifo ene o mo nkata na we dia no wode
na ene dia minim ne se minimum sabe bia ye to dynamite na se fon dynamite ne ye to a aya na enye kane anda so wiem bum e bia ade ne ye blast no eno ho mfuturu na ye ta hu no na so na akokwa se bia ye dwumadie bi koso na fireworks se de ye ta ka no sa na ye hu no na anyway na wo ma tumi an kire bia poten na se mutumi bia poten na ade ne wo
bia ne bia overhead no so no for ayi no so no ena na ekoso but the entity no on the way videos ni twitwa untumi nko anka because na ewu o ko akopere se bi ekunipa o kwa obewu na ewu you twin incident so speculations in the baby plus China for no afa shiri omukum no moye wa but untumi nsi so dia but the year kan se ade de na no adi na you go grab bo ye e won patemu ho no for so the way ade no cost na you etidi no eja na no ade put it up bomb na wo so da odem kwala nya de na zon peni bofa is gona kwala no demo musu and untumi hu ba bia ade ni fi ene ade kunti ana odd hours ya ma 12 no ahoma 3 ya no mu and ye won pate mo de
mo hu na mane
finance money bia o ma ye hu so China for no mo ye o ma de ni so be stress we de anu ode so wa ko ye adwuma ba pa so be da na juna the bombo se de ben o se no ni ma de ko a na to sa na jeno eja
anim we de mamo ya due ka fra isanse enkwada de wo mu kra na ha adwen sanse kwada ne ye mu hye na adwen adwen se won hwia na aka ho eno na ha adwen ti we de ye be ma ye sanse fa ko na won ko bisa se sa ade pumpum na fireworks ana se den ana na wo mu tumi de ho nsem abanti ye be da se na no pay ye da se papa na de obokrata ne nyina ay kra de be ko Cuba mamu Ghana suafo a ekusuan de Cuba ese GNPC ene so o masene se wo mu kusuan de na enuane ade ma omudi no ye be stre pa se yi video na ya hwefo ye sere mu a mama mo eni nyan kakra eduane no eduane a eti omudi gogomi obi no mu wo mo ho akire wo mo ama abrante bra kokra fo mo hwere ne nkwa ye na ye be kɔ ne no madi nkomo na tibia omu Cuba ma mu ho no wo ma ye hwe na ye nka ho asem nti akosua sapon ekuafo nyina hema ewa ha koko ekuafo hema sisi oso do dia kashi waka ho na msa wo de don't go there because that is my field na mesu me fa kashi no na ye nko na alagege nso me se me pe bunchy bread also onye bunchy bread or ye banana bread ti me pamcho monkoma me wati
kashi no kase Elia yanka Elia boy
na muso me Elia guys monkoma me anopena fi
abusafo democrat ano ne de eba no ma yemfa daily graphic and share ase na enimu ase no de Orion Francis Kamate wode ni mfonyini ato ase wono na ye deputy director wasan ye head research and applied meteorology eno no e Ghana Meteorological Agency aha nti ne title no na mabo no na asemo a wode ato na wo che se afi weyi a ye wo mu die ensuo no se de ne to no besi aye no enye bebre ebe ye ho ne ho average na se de wosi echechire mu enie wo che se wo ba etifi FM ho a eno e wo ho ye ba anafo famu a ahapa na ya na ensuo no etan eto na no wo che se de afi bia anka ye hu no se climate change eti nioma sesa na esese wiemu nsachiraye no akama ensuo no ento bebre se de yesi ye hwe ni mu se kebeto bebre se dru June July August ke ensuo no tosam ye hu se ensuo no eto wo che se afi we no ye hu ne sa na emom ebegugu na eno na wo chechiremu wa ha se de yehu no afibia na nya saa na beba no esan ewiemu nsachiraye nti na agency ni kire se esu eto June July August no se de esi hu no ebekofom enya de ebekosoro te se de ya na yehu no wosi ensuo no se de wo mo pattern no se de esi efa ne to no sitie no asesa kra enti wo se ye de yani edi akire ne yehu ne saa wosi June July August season no se de ya na esi eye ema akuafo enti wo ka ne se no wo ka de akire akuafo ene wo mo no baye se de wo mo si dua no se de wo mo hyehyeye ne sitie no wo se wo mo timi ehwe na wo mo etoto ne yie se de be ye betimi aboa ama emfudie ne no baye a ye bedua no etimi aboa wo che se enframa jampantrudu ebi be fa pa ene nso nti ye nso na nnua yi yabu ni nyina yi ti mframa no fa be fa pa betutu nkrofo nso no ma ebe se japade nso pa ena afeso so ayira mo betete pa na ayira mu yitete na mframa no fa na ensuo nso eto ewom se wose entan to de ebeye kakra na enso so se to a ebeyiri eno na duru a na ensu yire emem ye ne sanse sebi oganafo ebinum ehwe ama efin amene ye gata nsuo no befa makoni nyina no esisi etisi yanhwe ni ye a na eno no akwakofo oyende ede abreye ni nyina mu no oche se emiamia hodo ni bi ewo ho a ebeye dry anase emu bewo ope no ebe ba ho esanse nsuo no ta enhye dan to no se de ye pe na be ma efom adwo enti yenhwe se titru ni akuafo wo ma omko cheneche no wo ma omu hye wo mu mfuo wo ma omu ye nioma bi atetete saa omu ye gyanwo adwuma ewo ewura mu no omu a wo mu kɔbɔ nkoto wo mu a omu kɔbɔ nkusie wo mu nyina omu hwɛ yie na hwɛ yie a wo mu ebema egya hyehye soso aba esanse ewiemu mfo ana asase no emfo ewura no emfo ebewo pa enti si anhwɛ ni yie a edno so di bushfires eja hyehye eno so ede ebeba enti wakoso a na wakyekiremu kakra wo mugusu de wo mani edi se de ewiemu sakyerae ne besi aye de ebesi bia na wo mo kyese wo mo ede beba amomanfo etimi ehu na wate ase
abusiafo meto aso de agane tanza obokata na mede eto aso na Malik Suleiman na atwa asemi abeto kratafa miensa wasi business woman bi enra ebra wokogina akra circuit court no maami na samu ebeto odwane se wabu nipa makomako aduonum baako na afa so 51 na sa nipa 51 yesi oso obeje America visa bi na di ama wonum na antamaklo ya wono na ebokọ adu ya woka wonum a maami ya chinchim wo mo nsa no ekyemu a eja yesi maami eni eraba akokodi nkomo na eradoro aboama na wono na ye complainant no wo se maami ne ba eba ne nchen wo ba na obeka che ne se ono oni American embassy die ene visa ne de je se ekwan na usu wuntu se ba ne pass out per visa die a ene wo ye passport no wo je visa na time di amount enti o convince no ni di nkomo maami ne so gidiye ti o gidiye no so da ni agent ene wo ba akoso ya ene woman bi a menya no wo ye adwuma wa American embassy obeje visa mom enti ene eja wo hia bia na e wo se ese je ne number no the number amanti wo no aye agent ene wo recruit nkofo de maame no enti we kwa no the number ama no mafre no wo timi so yobo kama enti wonu yomo aya ma se de yesisika a waje no yeja kwabena ne bebodini e de amaye almost 1 million Ghana cedis and waje ni nipa aduonum ba ko yinsam a wo se obeje frozen visa ene de ama wo me no ye de anya
frozen visa I don't mama na betumi a kire yes sa frozen visa na no ye visa bi asa wo kwa wo apply for visa no wonko for interview it is wo na wo pay visa na wonko for interview
who say ni case grant ya no ne board den chain no normal visa no
na yes na no de wonya 70 antamakru no wonya 70 years old
yes
na no de a wotumi de bu nipa 70 years
ene so ya brewa
chief ma brewa chief inspector bandasi enti odansi ni o wa asem yi eche so on na wokodi adanse ye ene wokotwe nkofo ba mu ene we ba na wabetua ni sika we ba na wabetua ni sika na aboabo na wabedrisa na court wo ene ese be da di seja sama mi wasan kwa akwaji obi kura 46000 ye no so so se American embassy fo no wo mu ton cars bi enti na obeto American
asa antamakru kro na 70 years ma me
no enti American embassy yesi omo wo auction cars enti no obeto bi e di amount no so oje 46000 Ghana cedis enu nipa ba akode no se unya visa na wato American embassy auction cars ni na wo de afi so se the car na so obetrem di akoso de a ene na eno no enti wo moto asem no ahyeda yesi wo hye November bosome ine de di kan eye afi 2019 anka wo mo nsa beka omo visa no ni bibia chesa control ne deda so wo ma twen ye was say 2021
we bia
corona 19 na bia visa na amadia
aposi for so mko chen so ade atum sai o ye adwuma sa na nya de a wontimi nye so ho
nti no betumi aye de onya ma wo enti yes asam ne hwe ne ye de akire esanse nipa na wajom sika no doso nipa 51 na wajom sika sa no ebinumu $3,500
$178,500
almost $1 million Ghana cedis almost 1 million Ghana cedis 70-year-old woman
600
enti ne bresam na yesi an robesi yakochi binum tututu bi akoso yachi mu binum ama ebinu so tu aka omo ewo Jacobu a eno wa santimantemu na honorable assembly member for Osekurum ayewo Boase Honorable Stephen Sechere. Honorable.
Good morning, Adekye.
Yes, sir. Bra honorable, net say.
Yakubu Adam, na ozo e.
Adoma kwa honorable. Na honorable me pa chewo ayi wan na ye kakasuna nka no so ya wo ase bro no ni bia na.
But there be o de ewo Northern region no ha.
Anu ye Northern region. Na oboase kroba yi brono be na didi ya mi de bebre ya metabo din ya mi refisisi yi
ai
tutuka che tutuka samre mama me wate
magaje na no pay
na eden na sie se akrofianfo bi ya chi binum eden na sie
wa ta ka me no pay ze amnu ahomati be ndo mienu ana yenya ntie se etututuo bi akoso ewo ofi anwiam kwanta ebe oboase baby efe o se akokwaso eba heman beja kwa ewo akoye bia bia akomfo awemfo ta akote ho pa efise ehwemudu ho no ma ewa enti ubu kef na o mato ahya so enti se wo hwe foni amede ba ye na ita na ewo ho no awona na akomfo awemfo bi hye na tema ekoye ekwani Jacobu district Cam officer, you are which had to good king common. Now, what you say, I'm watching no me na the good police for no, almost copy too. And to almost do, sir, him, my pass to Cremon. Now, I confirm and for the car safety and passengers never. Into a mocha confirm if you were more ever to touch, jet driver, Nina, and almost for the home who be amber. And none about one now, I confirm by who said. Say a police car, just say, oh, my now wrong car. Or no, oh, my, you'll be a good no. Or much I say, what drink I two to the class to cook police or yet near you. And I put it for no such as that be. Or Muko training school, Patasno. The Bianca of Tom would be a Juso, yet, or motto. And the come officer just said, akomfo dane gua police no police so dane gua akomfo so enu na nam so ma a police ni tuo no keka akomfo ni mu baako na mo che se ne to ye mu ha no oto na na won sie do enti o mo che se miensa aka na mo ye nan miensa aka ni mu se mu nia na awu no ana o ye odwene ko mu su betwan wo de awurade ya dom ama police ni mi che so mkwachi wo mu miensa nyina de ko ma de ma wan se kitwa wo mu no oso wo 23 years baako oto so 28 years baako oto so de so wo na no se baako papo wo so 59 years na 59 ne kula no ga de wo mo uti se papa bi e ko be 70 years pa amna me chef papa ne sa am in fact boys ya blampa a no papa wo ya na du no mi nu watam tuo na odi kodi ewu
Emerante no wo na e wo team pay conference form na wo TV so aye hwe
omo mi ensa no
18 years na wo finfin na na so no na wo de wa hin no
de wo bemkum so no aye 23 ana me hye wo mo sa no mu jina sell mo mo hye ana 22 aso 20 ana old boy no so old boy no what 59 years Omi ensa de jina won ana ba ko na etuo de kasa mo wu ya no so no ono so eda ho no
na
the who boys for no ede we wu ko to St. Peter's Hospital o mortuary ho Jakobu ana mi ensa na aka ne so no mu ku police for akachi da Jakob e nipa wo mu jina police car na o mu ka twi no ye ti o mu besi abura na bi twi wo no u bi twi bu so wat ma o mu twi this the area waka employment for kasai entiano na kwa ya so se ba se ne tie bia no
ya che wo na just say wo share say do mu osi ka no say afedu we mu ntumi on katwi na mu fulani kasa no kan say wo mu ya se fulani fo ana
say wo het o mu ko bia ni se ne o mu si eye no dia entiano a je isu police commander na say say we dia o mu kofa obi a wati mfa ni kasa no mo ti to o ma no enti bo so mo twem treatment kwa na ye den Odi twi na se block bu so much bia o mu fiu na emo me so kam friend kasa dia na o bu yiwa no na so police ban je se tem o mu tina wo mo na ankomo ebe wo bo mo no ta me de no mo ka twi
ona wo ye beda se na no pesa de akire so mu start e kai so be ka twi ya na wa me ye hu ti bi si bia na e be san ba ho bi o
ba so ba ti uni
ye nua 7 section na yete ne nka efi Jakobu no na se akrofrefo ya ma police for no mo ni adwuma so mo ye ni se da bia me gidi sanka be bra se kakra nkrofo hu na manepa agosia yenko
ya abusia me de daily graphic na eba kratafa a etoso dumiensa e na ode owurare Lordina Dramani Mahama ode ni mfonyini abeto a na eye krata wode epieye na no kwasiada a na eye nanom nyina ada na no eno de nani e kire emiamia hoduo bi a wo kire se yetewa e ya yemfo yeni ene adwen enko wo madwuma wo yeso wo kasa no ana ne krata e ba yenim no wo sesesi ayi wo bo ema a wo ye front line workers wo mo e wo apomuden adwumanim wo sesa ama ni nyina wo mo happy Mother's Day esan se adwuma so a wo mo eye no e fe keke wo matu mo wasi ho wo maja wo mabusuafo wo ofie e na wo maba eno achi e na osan ba ye se ema a wo mo e na ehwe orphanage homes wo mo so no obi ba unim ni ba bia ni akofa ne de na ba na ye de na brew bia e wo msi ye tua wo kade na enso akoda no e wo se wo krokro no e wo se wo tete no e wo se wo kire no wei wo kire ne bonkum ni fa wo kire na ehoro ne efom enyoma nyina wo se wo kire akodakoro etu wo se sa ma no so o ma wo mo happy Mother's Day na wo mo hunu se de yesi ehu wo mo no ye kura wo mo ti se kosua na wonam se oye enkane first lady no ya president Emma Lordina Foundation ana wo se sa akonya we ya sa ba beda ho biewu a na se ono so to ebi ede ema ne wo mo na wo mo so hu se ampa ye do wo mo ye dwene wo mo ho eno achi ena otisi mu single parent wo mo a wo mo nko a na hwe wo mo ma na nya ma ne nko a o wo ka no o se emema ne bi wo ho a wo mo nko a wo mo yiru mu adwane agya wo mo ena sa emema ne nko a na wo mo hwe wo mo ma no ekoba saa no aba be ye na ono akro ya saa be ye agya entu saa obe makro no ono nko a na ehwe ne ba no a obe bi anka ne ho no sa be makro no so e wo se yetumi ka che ne se happy Mother's Day san se wo ye na e no ye agya ntini me anu nyina no e wo se ye de e ma no ama eno no krata ye pie ye na no kwasi da wo che se titiu ni adwumayefo a omo orphanage homes e na afen so wo eye ma wo front line working line hono omo no so ye ma omo happy Mother's Day e na afen mema a wo nko aye single parent afen ye ma no so amo ye single parent no so mo so de bi e ma ma ya na ye kan say ye normal na mo mema de ya na intense enu nti e na wabo pa e ka sa asemi e de a kire mo ne daily graphic e de ho asem e baaye
yeah me to aso dia na abusiafo the daily statement there obokrata na ekita me anopei na kwasi from Paul na atra asemi abeto kratafa miensa wasi oru akwabena je e Japan kane na woye twetwefo panyini de ma NPP amanyoku mu na said ye Ghana fo nyina yi animsam no afi 2015 ena party no etwe no esensen ye ya enyo no nko a na sabre no chairman de ema amanyoku no so eka ho ebi yewura chairman Foko ene vice chairman Sami Crab wo mo ye ho wo mto akonya afi 2015 na asamada ha ene say party mpanyufo asigina yese woru akwabena je Japan wonom ebesan amana ba party ni mu adidwuma mu a ebio se NPP amanyoku ba na former general secretary dibia no yetumi abode ato no so e de afre no afesu so se nwanam ahodo bia wo former general secretary akonwa ho no eja wa wibia eyeyie so ahu se ne esenchenam na bosumi bia yedema kane twetwefo de ma NPP amanyoku a wo mu atwamu ko nyina echese oru akwabena je Japan sa benefit no se ebi bekọ nensam na krachia nensa ehye asemi ase eyoru adwombo adu asese ono na ye twetwefo panyi de ma NPP amanyoku ochiremu a wose neck empanyufo etena ase wo mu ahwe bra ye twi yeru akwabena je Japan sense no eja wo mu so abọ ne homoden pa ehwe ne ye ni sunu ne ban oda na di party ne ye bibi ode ne hojim enti esefata so wo mu san efre no eno da nchen a wo mu se raba akososo ye kasai disciplinary committee no ahye Etiwa East Mami Gift Saki ye ono soso no ye constituency women organizer wo mu ho ne to akonya no soso ye mfre no na onsan emedini wonsamra party ni munti ye no soso wonom age atomu na ne kase ni chenchenche nyina eye oru akwabena Japan e de a wabanti oru adwombo de sise diem ene yes a plastic chair na bosumi bia e be ma former general secretary for a oru akwabena je Japan e wo ho kwan se wagibie enti sese o frɛ na former general secretary de ma NPP amanyoku wonye suspended former general secretary ya anti eno afi honom
yo me ebusa for me work at afa to sudunsia e wo daily graphic mu na aha say no che say statistical service for e de enipa bese empem aduowotwe 80,000 personnel and almost say wo monko Ghana fa na nyina na wo monko kenkan ye si enim say emfie dubia na ye kan omanfo e wo omanmu afi efie so mu rewre mu kan efie ba ko mienu miensa e bi efie we nipa sen ne wom ana efie we adankora sen ne wom sa ne omani nyina no Ghana Statistical Service say so omo ekenkan ne sa eno na ya na mpanimfo e de to susudua so na o ma kyesa ha nipa dodo sei ne wo enti se ye de ye budget yakon sika e ba ye twa ne sa na e bi amantam we sika sei ne ye de kwa akosom wo mu hia kwan wo mu hia hospital wo mu hia sei aha ni nyina aka ho bi e na ema empuntuo etimi ba ba bi a otie na eno no so manfo e be kai a enche ye rafi mu e na omo e kan ye sei enche bia wo be fiti ase se ye wo May June bosumi nim no e na obefiti ase a obedi dwuma etise ye na sei e na Ghana Statistical Service e kire wacha say what the field supervisors any enumerators e na wo mo akokenkan Ghana de hie nyina afimpinu ne aduonu ba ko housing and population census ni nyina no wo si June bosumi na bosumi a yekwa akowura mu no e na e baso na eno no wacha say sa supervisors ne enumerators wo mo ya empem aduowotwe sa 80,000 yi wo mo e na ye team no a wo mo etu anamon ewo mu enti waheda abubu mu ha say breakdown no enie wache say sa enipa empem aduowotwe 80,000 officers Dr. Bediako a wono na woye opanyini a yebeka say woye board chairperson Ghana Statistical Service Dr. Grace Bediako na ede asemi wo bubu mu kire say no waye no wacha say numerators no and supervisors no data quality administrators eka home we no eye mensi wo mo beko mensini wo mo beko mantam wo mo do mani ko twa wisi kwa akohwe se de esi ko so monitors no afa ye wo IT officers no esan se de wo mu si eye na afi we de no mo say wo mo pese abra nipa na ba fie na wo ne wo kasa na wo bisa wo maye sen wo ye adwuma bayi edan na mutim no na dan na modem nipa dodo sen na dem adankra sen na wo fie ha no ni nyina no wo mukuta tablet na wo mu boshem to wo bo no na ba data na wo ma ya ma mamu ni nyina no etinya afa na ye kwakọ ye nkrata asem na ye de Ghana for de enche ye nim se de esikura de eti se ye nkrata asem a ebedi na wotwe na wotwe mienu ehwe krata na ewu no de bi eti om se de tablet e na om de ye no eti eba na ebie wo nkwa wo de ane abobobo bibia ahyehyem ebia ebebisa wodi ndi sen wadi mfie sen wo ma sen wo ma no om mfie ne ye sen wo sa anyoma ni nyina no om bisa ni nyina awia na wo ma bobo wo ho nti ene ye send wo mo bo send na apɛ na ba main data na se kese no so na eno na ba begusu nti eni na enu ni nansa na wo matimi ehunu Ghana ya de hye ye ne kenkan no na atumi asi na no na opanyi eche se no wo ma hyeda mantete wo mo ba betete nkrofo no wo mo ye apem ene aduanan wotwe 1048 na no ye master trainers wo mo na eba be train wo mo asese yafa wo mo no ene ye wo national trainers wo mo na eba be train omamu ni nyina ede afeso so wo mo kire se regional no wo mo ba be train enipa empim num ahenum 5,500 ene wo mo ba be train wo mo eno achi no wo kire se enumerators ne supervisors no eye empim aduoso ensia 76,000 ene no so wo mo eba be hwenti wo ba wo mabubu mu saa eba saa nti efri sabre ye kwedi empanifo ofiti ase na o ma training wo mo saa enti June hwiebe na wate asikwan mu wo mu rewura fie mu ne no no mo se Ghana de hye se Ghana fo nyina eni akiremufo mani ni akire wo fie a wo mo ba na onyo mo ho abotre na question bi o mebisa bi aka ho bi na wayi wo ma no no matimi ama yakenkan Ghana fo ne ehu ye dodo ne no so atimi aboa ya mampuntuo atimi abaso
na ya to amoso dia daily statement katafa mienu Isabella Jakwa na atro asemi was Minister of Defense Owura Dominic Nitiwo head ya to ejase enansiani ya wono efiti ase se enkofo chamfan wo mo ejeje no was ye kase ye dia 476 enu matimi asai no wo twaja atum asanu se kodwo to na enchemu kakra de ba ye wa asemi ho ene se sa 476 chamfan no a wono mo asai no wasi wei eye first half no na afedie wo mo awie sesi a no operation na wo mo ye na no mo atumi dia say 476 na nya dia so mbeja ne say se bia ye se ye kwache na ye de kwa akosi be ye mfa nkosi be bia ye say no o ya akro wo hunu se sika ode ato ade no emu odu sa ne ase no a wo chena onye biem na bro ni centrofo odi nkomo ne yewura ni ti wudi tudwa ese enya no nkwa excavators makomako 28 ya peja atum ena 276 chamfine ena 18 pump water pump ya no no mo de horo gold no mutu ya no mo de horo no eno so 218 ena o ma se no ena yesi milling machine eno so baako ena industrial pumps eno so mienu ena yesi plastic fuel tanks bi so maako edu o ma se no 21 brand new pump machine eno so wo ma destroy ni nyina na wasi phase 2 no wo mo ba behwe pra asuo pra afei efri twifu pra so saa de koni benkumuru eho no mu be bom pempe afei daboase ene ne mpata mu no sese eho do mu do mani besi wo pa nti wo ya akro so wo be ma pa na so do chamfan be kwa kosi nsuom no ase no a ene na adibe yom wasi de ma ne se fempa yese ebra asojafo ekoye a wo mo bom pempe bo ban se de be ya galamsefo ebedwane no yesi wo hina krata na eka Isabella eja kwa na atro ese chichirire hene na nakwaboaboa mabuna no esi yankwabu asoja 400 na yakwa akọbọ ban no enti saa su ni ban no wose krom ofo wo ka kire mo e wose wo hene we na mokọ ne nase ko bisa nse nana na edi enti ne yensu ahono na ya poto ne nura aframu ne anum ebewuo na wo bi be ye ni yi asa nipa no wo boaboa yen ya no se yen boys yen kwahia soldiers ne yen kwaburu soldiers soldier ni ya mani tu am na konde ya wo se yen kwaburu wom nana edi enti a omu misa nana ne nsam bi na mo mu ni eche keke so omo hina kasa se omo goto share soldier fo so nti no wo ma sore prekope a wo mo enfa bibia nkwa adwendwene mu enkonkodi ensenhunu wasenya ade akon no wo mu jai enti wo de wo ya akoro so wa baso na so wa beti afufu abeben na anu wo mbako de a ene wo mo ati asese ayomamu nyina akon a yehwai ato wo enya asoja fo na wo mu hwehwe ni mu aba na wo mate asi kwaye mu o nanka wo mu tugalam se ayoman kon a yehwai enti ene enhwaye no wan hwe ana adedere wonti ma wani na ho na ye ofam de afa ya soja fo ye rani ti wo so odamase omamomo opiafo mo ya de mode mo nkwa munim se de mo koi toda ye betimi abom bi kro bi kwa timi kwa akoto amrem ne wawu esoso mode mo nkwa ato mo ntonkoso na mo nya adwuma pasa amfa nsom oman Ghana na ni asomo pa wei ene nsem bia anopei katafam yenu ewo the daily statement mu Isabella Ejakwa atro edia
ama me wahu sa ohen no me nya information in tempa me kan kan wasem wa dada wahu we no yaka ye jana manoko okuna ye kono enye sabi okubi ono no Ghana ye kodi esiesi ade no ono se no kra ono se
yesi de nti o ma wo mu yes akran se yesi ono ne ahyen bi odi tu galam na chese wo hwemu dia
no so ono na tu
na
copy so na se ono se organize emabunu
na desk ya hye
akwatia asrafo na mampani etu omo se omo nkohwe emo yesu ho ban no na se gya na ma netena se a
na we die na na ne se excavator mienu no enka soja fo ne baaye no mo de mo pekora mo de mo nton eye de ntina mo twa eja ni excavator mienu o
enti anka yan shin kofo de mebo yan shin kofo de no ne de yenyama na na se yenkoto na se yenye de
se na ma na boafu no excavator ne
boarding a de ode ye no so de sawia se nyina woni se ko de boafu say the way ye yensu no eba mu diem aha enti so nepa ba kona se ye to na se yese nana bia kantini enka hwe ya
nana de nde se nya adwuma na no stop
dabi so long as beba otimi ka se o ba organizing for focus
so amuso mu okuro chechewere tumuso mmetuna bo asoja foi
dabi ti minimum se aban ye bibi na so so reti a wo
mambofo
enti so ma boyfriend
was say atwaso e wo
sa enti se me ametie na ka me ka se me kona na zenkrofo se ye mpene masrafo nya
o ya cho dada
enti se ye me ne edi bedimi a so bi so ye na se mampani ayo omampani the first gentleman of the land the to me o won so omunye sa djuma na se mampani ama to me so omunye djuma bi na wo hin bi hye kona bi se wo mpene mo nya aba na ye to wo hwe no mo me yemfa no nko so ye no kra dia
yo mami hwe kratafa toso edu enkuno sa galam se nsem ya ho na Dr. Henry Herbert Latte Ejakwa Benadamfo no Great Consolidated Popular Party GCPP yeah na papa e kire se wo bo aban abaso wo kwan a wo fa so ama enei galam se yi wo mo hwe se wo mo besi ano ekwan no no de ne hawni wo se ema yenko na yenko chichichichi boys no na ye nyaa wo mo hwe omachi boys no mu nisika a wo mo de ye galamse no wo mo sponsors so wo mo to gold no a wo de komo wo de san ya na wo munya kakra na wo munya no wo mo se wo munya de nanso so sankrofo we ye wo mo gisika na nkasa enti adenti e na aban ma ye nche sankrofo no a wo mo ne de gold no ye tu e de kokomo wo no wo mo na wo se ye che wo mo wo se wo mo ne ye che wo mo ne ye do wo ye do mo be kire se sankrofo we ne hye o machi eti sankrofo wo mu nie wo sese ye do mo ba na ye do mo be gina mra nanim o mo hye kire no sponsors na o mo na akoto excavators no o mo na akoto yi chamfine ene de keka ka ho no mo de ye adwuma no o mo ene wo se so mo se ku a esan se babunu no wo se sa babunu no to oni adwuma bi aye enti oni adwuma ye no a obi abe friends o mesin kotu galamse no enipa no beko enti sie ye ne sa ebeboa eno achi o se excavators no ne machines no yenhwe se yentwa jantum won de o se onfo aso na emom senki yesesa ne ye de aba ebetimi da ye bibi foforo ora Henry latte sa te we bi CEO ena ne yese excavators ne yehunu ba bi afa enu nti ne se yese o muduru wa no mo twa janatum no ma hye no mo mpe problem enti eno no enti opanyi de na sema wo kan se sponsors no so no yenche wo mo ne mfa mo mekere wo mu ne do magina mra ne mra ne no madi esan so wo mu na wo sika a wo mu de time mabru na chi mo yes agalamse no enti ene daily graphic ade sa asem so e de aba
na eja won se court se bia se wo ye nsentwoni na akọ court a wo de se utako wo de wani di akira court wo ne hyehyɛ ye kwan fa so ebo court amane na nu na UK ex high commissioner yesi ya jeli no abosome enwotwe ene sei yesi wo wura yi wo sa ya blogger krasa aka ho muwari ya sentence no 8 months a ne boni a wadie ne se UK eman mu no wo mu wo mra ya ebo court proceedings ho ban ti ansa na wo be report bibia na wo di nsem asi wo court beba no eniema bi wo ho a wo se wo hwe se emamu na yesi kane UK high commissioner ya ye kase ya jeli no orua baako ye de sobo abo no ese wo no wotomo na woni ma deda eni ade na eja all be true story no krachi ko ene ma no ene asama sapon anu atwro akoso asapon no atwro ma ni nyina din ma dodo no akrache no ni wo mada no watwro obi adin ede ba na no na lady Doreen ya oya Scotland yesi wo mo second most high judge eche se krache no onimo de ebro so se obekoko yesa de ntie ya ni da ho bone ene wo de twro sa ma ni din ede ba abonten kire se ya to wono emona ya ense nka mani dini ebanti onkodam abosome nwotwe se bone a wadi nka osanka ojeli ne bros ana so owa abusua ne market 20 wahwe no ho ene wama na abosome nwotwe
hwe ukokọtọ awa ho court nhihye mu no se obe report a se de court kan no sa pepepepepepepe ne se wo kan no wunye bi mfiri mu FB enka ho eti se hwere kronkron no enti se okwa na se wo ye se wo de ka ho na woto o fiafia ho na sefo a masam no sesa enti we no nye ne pehunu bia o
aye ti se wusua French na wo tro French ye wo yini bi wo ho a exclamation marks bi wo ho a wa fa nhye ho a esesa ma ne sesa se de esika no ana se de esi tro
se LL
Obeka French ana
papa ye ka ne ho asem
volasi
Elia boy
yeah Elia girls
na krache na ye de subo abone se wa watoto mamo na ani ade no wa your former Scottish First Minister Alex Salmond ono na semna
we papa ye jeli ni no ye British abana musini organa and we na dwuma ko UK and na court report no report so report no one report ye no and ye jeli no wọ́n sẹ bẹbí amra yẹ juma
ya fa ya hu
ya wọ́n ya hu akọtro asemasi ni din nie na mu ya fa ni fi ama na ni picture e wo ho ni picture ni ho ye se wa bo mu din se so bo mu din
wọ́n sẹ Ghana ha se ye nsentwerofo ye ta ye sa ye wi a na ya fa ya hu adi sa
we no a kire se mra yẹ juma bẹbí ampa mra yẹ juma nti ese no se de ekeka koyi eya keka akwa ne sa nti mo fa baako
ma me fa we mra ayi a kire ha se na asem we de eya we eye Kajeji Senior High School na saa school yi eye Kajeji Senior High School no e wo Sini East District e no wo Bunu East Region na abusua omo se omo dining hall e ho no omusua de school no adan ho nsem no e den de ma wo mo pa na wo hwe mfonyine ne daily graphic e de ba ye no a wo mo dining hall na e ho kura na omusua de no e ho nye ba bia ya wie eye nnua ene abobọ ne abọ nchensen e wo so ena wo mo di table na wo mo etena so didi no ene bench na wo mo tena so didi no eno so na wo matena teacher ni e de board wasi ho ama wo kire ade e wo ho na eno no che se wo hwa wo mo bre papa esukufo nkwada e wo ho no ya apem wo ha ene aduosia mienu 1162 na eno no che se ye ka suku a ewo Ghana ha nyina wo mo ye poor poor senior high school mo ye poor eye ho we me ha mani nka na emo se the poorest second cycle school environment e wo mamu ni nyina no ene sa kejeji ho no.
Okay. Yo. Akusia, wo de kejeji sa asem na ayre ho sempa school no minim ho. Enti de numusu ma me.
Okay.
Na me nkwana me ne Dr. Abdul Aziz Mahama enka no yedwemtenani e de manux na sisi o Cuba memu. Se de kan bo so e de a chemu na branch you be a Ghana fo a ye mom scholarship so mkusua de e wo Cuba no. Wo kan ho bie na tibi omuom sese no kwasem ne se ha adwene yi pa na ye ni nkomo tiawa na ebisa ne se some situation ti san e wo Cuba memu ho na ye hwe de omo ye de aka ho good morning Doc Aziz Abdul Mahama.
Yes, good morning sir, and thank you very much for having me, and good morning to your viewers and listeners.
Thanks so much for responding to our call. We learned there is a problem pertaining to your stay in Cuba. How far is the situation now?
Yes, it is quite unfortunate what the Ghanaian students are currently going through in Cuba. If I could recall, yes, on Friday, that's last week on the 7th, unfortunately, we lost a very young, vibrant, humble, and intelligent student. And after I talk to you, most students are still devastated because we are still finding ways and means to reconcile as to what took place on the third day. Frankly, our heart goes out to the bereaved family, the entire students in the faculty and in Cuba, all the Ghanaian students across the globe, and the Ghanaian population. We strongly believe that our brother is at a better place, and may his soul rest in peace. So, recounting, there has been a series of events that has gone through, or students have experienced in the past few months. Recounting right from the day we set foot in Cuba, that's in 2019, to this very day. And this has been a systemic problem, and we feel there's a need to rectify it as quickly as possible. Otherwise, we'll keep on recounting this, and our father having lost his life, we shouldn't allow it to go in vain in this manner. And these problems that we are talking about, systemic problems, have to do with our sponsors back home, which comprises the GMPC and the Scholarship Secretariat from the government of Ghana. We are also looking at the government agencies that comprise the Ministry of Health and Ministry of Foreign Affairs, not forgetting the Ghana mission that represents the government of Ghana over here in Cuba.
Doc, can I come in here? Yes. We learned one of your colleagues has lost his life. What really happened to him?
Yes, so unfortunately on Friday, in the early hours of the day, around 8:30 to 9, some of us were called because we are not living or staying in the same faculties. Some of us are postgraduates working in the hospital and still studying. But these students are confined to medical faculties undergoing basic sciences. And because of the COVID and the pandemic, they've been confined and restricted to those faculties so that they don't have access to going out in order not to complicate or contract COVID. So we're called I was called in the early hours of that Saturday, that's on the 7th, that we've lost a brother and a gentleman. So I quickly inquired as to what had taken place and if the Ghana mission were rightly informed. But to my dismay, since the information hadn't gotten to them that early. So myself, as a doctor and other postgraduate students, and an embassy official that were able to reach out to Mr. Paul Hammond, we quickly rushed to the school to ascertain what actually happened and if there was a need, because it was so strange to us that we could lose a brother like that. And for a very long time, more than 10 to 15 years, we've never had such an event in Cuba. So we wanted to ascertain whether it was true or even if there was time for us to save our brother's life. But unfortunately, when we got there, he had already been pronounced several minutes before our arrival. And we requested for an emergency meeting with the school authorities to ascertain what happened right from the time the gentleman was found in his room, what intervention was attributed to him or rendered to him, and eventually they lost him. They recounted a series of activities. in the presence of the doctors that took care of him on that very day, and the Ghanaian students that were present from the time that he was found lying motionless in his room. So we asked ourselves, because we got there and the students were quite confident that at the time that we picked the student from the dormitory, he still had a lot of life in him. He was still conscious and there was a possibility that they could revive him. But what could have happened within that time until the gentleman was pronounced dead, that is something that is dismaying to all of us. And we believe, students believe strongly that something could have been done. There could have been some systemic errors that eventually led the gentleman's death. Some of which they recounted as soon as the time that we took the gentleman to the polyclinic. The polyclinic is within the same facility. There were certain emergency therapies that could have been rendered to the student, or even carrying the student from the faculty to a nearby hospital to render him or grant him an emergency treatment. That wasn't done. When we inquired from the school authorities, they indicated that from the time that we received the gentleman, we wanted to stabilize him by medical protocol before referring him to the hospital. In the process of trying to stabilize the gentleman, they ended up losing him. So we still demanded we need a full report as to what they did or what they could have done to save our brother's life.
There seems to be a poor living condition that you people are going through over there. I can see some meals on the screen now. Is it the kind of food that you're being served as your meal? Because I can see some kind of meat. I don't know whether it's maggot infected or what kind of food you eat.
Yes, actually, it is very appalling considering some of the meals that are being served to students on their various campuses. We've had the chance of confronting some of the school authorities to see how they could make life much better, but none has all fallen in deaf ears. You see, the fact remains that we are auto-financed Ghanaian students over here in Cuba. So, meaning our government is directly in charge of our payment, and the Cubans are supposed to provide us with the service needed. So, when we got to Cuba, we realized that undergrad and postgraduates were both cramped and mixed together, and we're all undergoing through this, enjoying this meal. Not enjoying in the sense that we liked it, but that was what we were forced to eat. So the postgraduates fought through various means, and eventually their money feeding allowance was granted to them. But in the case of our brothers, it wasn't granted to them with various reasons as why they couldn't. And we've been feeding them with this food stuff over the past few years, right from the time they got to Cuba. And you can see from the screen some of the floral state of the nature of the food that they always serve at their dining hall. We've raised it at certain instances, thinking that yes, our authorities will come to our aid because there's a need for them to intervene. Look at what the students are being fed with. If it is not adequate, if it is not the right thing, we put pressure on them to change it. Yes, we understand clearly that we find ourselves in Cuba with economic hardship and strain and constriction. But yet, there's a way our government, there's a way the Ghana mission over here in Havana can intervene to bring about change. And we haven't had it since then. I was here as an undergrad and we were living with South African students. Those South African students had a separate dining hall at that time because they were financed by their government. And the food that we were enjoying wasn't the same food that they were enjoying. They had better conditions as compared to us. So if our government, through the embassy, is interested in granting us a better living condition over here through the Cuban authorities, yes, it is possible that could be done. And students will be void of eating those foods that are being displayed on the screen. Yes, it is true. And instances that students have gone to the dining hall, the food is so small that it can't even satisfy you for a second. I have listened to some of the statements passed by Dr. Dominic Adekye, who is the executive director of the GMPC Foundation. And he stated as to why the food is nutritious or students being granted the black beans and at least it's a well-balanced diet that students should accept it. But the black beans alone, in terms of the way he simplified, it doesn't qualify for a student to undergo such a meal. Look, he also stated the instances where the professors and the other workers in the faculties subject themselves to the same meal. But you believe me that these professors and workers are only there temporarily. They are done with their day-to-day activities and they leave home and they have a very good diet with their family. If we're also here with our family and we have to enjoy this meal or spend time to go through those meals from time to time, I don't think anybody would have been complaining. Some of us are postgraduates, live in hospitals and working there. When our colleagues are coming for duty, they come with a very well packaged or diet, which will take them through their duties. But the rest of our brothers living or confined to those medical faculties don't have any other options. Those are the only diet they can depend on. There have been other instances or statements that was passed by Dr. Dominic, which I would want to state very clear, just to clear the air. With the issue, he stated the issue where students demanded a different mode of payment that has subsequently led to the payment of the stipends of students in Cuba. And I beg to differ, that is incorrect. Because right from the very first day students set foot in Cuba, aside the stipends that were given to them from home, they never received stipends from that moment until somewhere 5 months or 6 months later. Yes, and the records are there. I was the past president, and I could provide you with the records, several occasions, instances that we've written through the Ghana mission to our sponsors, demanding a rectification, demanding that they attend to us as quickly as possible. We live in a very strange environment in the sense that due to the hardship and the economic blockade embargo placed on Cuba, if we don't have money, it is a problem. So students go through all these months without stipend. And he stated clearly that it was due to the mode of payment that students were demanding that led to the delay of the stipend. And the fact is that this has nothing to do with the delay of the stipend. These are two different things altogether. We only demanded a mode of payment not long ago, just about 2 months or 3 months ago, because Cuba has instituted different measures in how their economy should be run. They now establish dollar shops. So if you don't have hard currency, it becomes very difficult for you to purchase certain items from the market. So we said if the monies are given to us as in hard currency or get to Cuba, is there the possibility that those monies can be given to us rather than it being passing it through the other channels? That will eventually enable to them because there will be inflation and depreciation of the currency eventually when we receive it. So if the money, let's say $100, but eventually it is worth to you like $20 or even $30. We engage them, we dialogue them, and they said it was going to be difficult to pay us through that mode. And eventually we understood it, and people or students provided their bank accounts or bank details. They fetched them through the embassy, and payment was effected. As I tell you now, about 95 to 96% of students have provided their details. Those who didn't provide their details were students that had challenges at the bank and students currently on vacation or those that have just returned from vacation. So these are the students that are the exception and haven't provided, and they haven't provided it because of the mode of payment and they are not interested in having their money. And as I talk to you, from Friday that the expect event occurred, they paid students yesterday, yes, and the students under scholarship secretariat, government of Ghana, have almost gone through 8 months without typing. So how come that this card event just took place on Friday and students have been paid their 6 month arrears of typing, and those of us under GMPC scholarship and postgraduate have also been paid? So is it possible that those monies were sitting in the account over here and unnecessarily students were being paid? We have to go through all this campaign.
Okay. Dr. Abdulaziz.
Yes.
I know you people are going through a lot, per what we are watching on television here. If truly that is what the kind of food that you eat, the kind of treatment that you people are going through, that means you are struggling to survive in Cuba. We have to follow up in Accra here to find out from GMPC who are your sponsors and find out exactly what is going on over there. We'll get back to you as soon as we get any information from you.
Yes, thank you. Is it possible? Yes, I could still make a few things before I go off. Yes. That is with regards to our book allowance. That was said that it has long been sent to Cuba. As I talk to you now, he made that statement. And as I talk to you now, nobody has received book allowance almost close to 2 academic years now. We requested for relief items because we've been in serious constraint due to the economic challenges in Cuba in the pandemic. And as I talk to you, it was almost getting close to a year, and that hasn't been said. The students are just making a humble demand that through the Cuban Medical Service, through the Ghana Embassy, and the government of Ghana and their agencies, they should intervene and see to that these problems are rectified.
Okay.
So we don't keep on having it as a vicious cycle.
Okay. Thanks so very much this morning, Dr. Aziz Abdul Mahama, for talking to us. We hope to get back to you as soon as we get any information from GMPC, who are your sponsors. Thanks so very much once again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Yene Dr. Abdul Aziz Mahama ono ye Nux Penny or Cuba mamu enuane na ye show TV no so de Nsroma na eni enyane kakra enuane a ye de serve wo mono no nche se aduane no kwesa aduane yi sanso esan nya wotum se na gogome kora wonam no mu ana ensen fatase de ma obi a ya soma no se wono nkosua de obabi na onfa mebo ne man ana so won kosua ntete obabi na onfa mebo ne man asase metasi minu se nye Cuba honko a Mia do bibro beti yese Ghana school for scholarship for wo omu hu na mane saa na yete hu saa nten kopim da ben na ya de ye de no bituma hwe na yetuma siesie no na ye ni yie de bia meka se akwada wo fie na se dehye wo ho na se yete to dehye na ase a akwa etumi kasa dehye ni saa na Ghana yakwakoye se wo ye Ghana ni na se wo ye bibia Ghana ye ni nso It's a bonti so for to me ba ebe ka do pe bi a kire ye anka cha na no betumi aka kire ye sei enyom no ma visa ye ne ma visa ono o cha na memu a onim se che bi do ase etu go do ho so oba on first excavator ni hye ni botom na nkosi wontu ye Ghana ni na ye nti Ghana fo o se sobo bi oba bi a ye fa mo ye ho ena bio South Africa mo to go do ho ye wo so mo yes aho ye ne ejeja na so mafa ya se ya mo bia fa so bombo China fo ese Ghana fo ye sebi foolish odika muni adanse ne enko
Jamanye me story no
wan wi wo ene tewni enko
yes ya be man temu akosia me nkan story ni nyina na yes se nkwada ya wo mu wo ho no galamse ni nti yes bi ni hwene eni ano na e affect nkofo bebre ma kidney yade ese nkofo kidney yes cardiovascular akoma yade ya e kire nkofo anadwo kunkun wo mu eno so de aba ho pa nti ato mantem director of nursing and midwifery service ewo awowin ewo Western North region maami gifty ansoa ajano ena de asem we atodwa se wo sere mpanyefo muntu ana mo na mercury no yesi e do so poison suo ene niema wo hono ma oba pemfo se wo sa wo num nsuo
obedidi
num udidi
unuane obedi
enti de mo ayesa no na so onyema na ese akwada no etwitwa me bi so to mo sere mpanyefo galamse ekuno mu miamu yesa de a ebe kakra enkwada yare fo nko ana me wo mpata
ene ebe video bi soja fo na dwuma mo ye no soja fo na dwuma mo ye no ye sa medical ka se betena update no ebe ko so ade ama enti soja fo no mode omo bo omo hye excavators ene champagne na asefo no ye be bi ama ya hwefo tumi ahwe asam na ye ka no wo ho eye pandemic ye ba ye covid ye ba ye no Ghana ye pandemic eye galamse yesu ene ye sase sense mercury na kogumu no ye nimu da ebe sase ebe ye aduane ebedi no
obani hwene oni ano
ebedu bre a ye nimu bre a sa mercury ebe ko ye nuane mu ama ya sase edi o ye nimu o ene ye so na ye research no ye ne akwakwose tu bayi baby wardrobe na ye da hye baby enti ehu
interferia
asem na ehu enti soja fo do it sister sao so be ye ni aye
me dey school na so nim na Kajeji senior high school yes one of the poorest senior high schools second cycle
eno wa hin sa Ajeje ho
eno e wo Bono East region Sini East district na osofo na owo Mpotem ho no the first time odi ko school mo ko hwe wo mo na okoya assistant headmaster ora Anthony Kwatin Tawia HH mu akire mo se wo hwe infoni no twa baaye no omo dining hall no kra no eye structure ye nua ne asisi ene abo nchanse ne wo so saa keke enti emframa fa ho saa ena fe ho no mu didie saa table na yetena so didie no eno ana o mote so ene bench
akase yi
ade wan ko secondary school didi wo eti enu nie aha eno ana o mote so a o mu sua de wa ha ena ye de no board ni bi esi wo na teacher ni gina ni mu e kira de na o se sensuo ta na chese wo se e pause the say is a kitchen ho na ye aduane ma omo ye boarding house na ye aduane ma omo no kitchen ho nsuo ta omo ni baabi omo ye no open ayi eti sensuo ta wo se omo dumja what you say omo dumja no aha na yesesa anuane ni nyina akopɛ baabi na omo disi sensuo ni tia na omo abeto aduane no so
ekro be ekre
eti number 2 teachers ni administration blog eti headmaster kra woni teachers ni nyina share edan baako eno omo titi
eno podi se head eno podi ni de ne hwehwe pa dan ho a ye tete mo tete gare ni adua
wa na ye kira de
wa na ye se kira de
eno si edan ni bi wo ho so ye uncompleted nti nsuo ta wo so mu ja de sua no omo ko ka class for from this omo ko ka class for from wa kire se omo nsua de ye be ka so omo nya na nsuo nti na we mu mpi
na we nya wadwen suzuzu aso because unim se nya classroom na ate o ti jare
eti ya no eti Kajeji senior high school for no omo ti jare wo mu hia mwa ama eti na daily graphic nso e de abai na de ba e be social stories
asi eye asi eye asi eye pa na e ha dwene Kajeji
ya siram panyufo Kajeji fo no wo mu nso so ye Ghana fo
omo nyina be treasure
eti ya pa mo chow e BC yom trobi wasi ai eti ya siram ada madaroma nko wono mo mwa na aden me betena jare atutu
ai ICT nkwada ICT bi a school bi omo ICT
ade no omo
draw board so na nkwada no eye
na e ba ko so mouse no ye de bo na to tu som si ana teacher ni na to say double click na don sa bobo no so
21st century Ghana na wo nsem bi
omo nyina to be treasure
wan hwe ya ye beka de yanka nti mu de adanse ya sama ye beto bomba
ayi eja ene amemi de mi kwen de mama happy birthday abna drowa Jennifer Beauty Gallery ewo Kumasi efri na kwame ho ena ode ma wo ena afesu so o say happy birthday Shronkon Koma we efri Joanna Ares Tego Okankwe North Municipal Assembly no wo so yemfama nikunu Amisti Nobo o say empire board dem man say Nyankopon ma ahoden na wonyini nche na nani je no ho papa nti owura Amisti oyere dofo so say yemfa wei emma wo ti meme de madanse amedie no eno no
eti
yaka ne otifo na mechia wo
otifo no
eti ama wo de
ko ye MP ho
adanse
di adanse
bebwa yeah and happy birthday enkoma last born Joseph Safo Joe nyame de afe ba kwa kan fie ho nti mese nkwatenten no do we free opo mantia ma ne obia ho ye nyina yese ye chiawo e ma ochinkwa na matade ye hwem ye ja
yes
the days classic nye de otwi manim ya the days classic
it's not my day
no it's not your day
the days classic mba cho omu East Legon Gesemani sa cemetery na wo ho no ho a wo de oduro na ofre wo no ma ombeba be fa ya nini di enhwenu ye opposite na Kingsby so omo branch wo na betumi afre the days classes mba cho ene de asle decently enyi yunu fo ho na woto ase ngu ho open tade pa wo ye minister we wo ye omampanyin ywe wo ye chese wo se mu odu wo ye sofo maame wo ho wani monyam level no me pa cho called the days classics na koto omonta de papa ni bi na hye na onso so wadi mu pa cho om number 0557 55 7041 0557557041 oko East Legon Gethsemane opposite Ampacho
ama ochina ye eyi for ye nananom Muslim for
ochina
eti mpacho omo enkramofo no nti omo nko ema no omo nko the days classic omo benya ntare so aye fine so omo omo kata omo
mo fa this way ni me pan no so
ehu hia pa no na eye eti ye madam ase Elia guest madam ase munyana mo nko na fe minya kwan enye de me be kapom de unsem COVID-19 no eye vaccine ye second dose no enu ni bi aba na ebinum se enu na eba ye no eye AstraZeneca de no ebi wo mu na bi da ba ko bi so enye bia ehun sama be ehuhu obi se ei ene na ye wo we a ye betumi ayenda ye wo we ye betumi ayenda nti ye be kapom de unsem na ye ne Dr. Kwame Amponsa Achiano no your programs manager expanded program on immunization Ghana Health Services within come via Zoom na fe ye bi some questions how do be e dey fasa asem health segment no eno one some dey beka emi scientific na bebo am yetumi aka na happy belated birthday so ko e dey ama Madam Hetty owura onunyamfo kwasi poku nkane presiding member tema metro was say my happy belated birthday nanra e wawoda enti anti Hetty ura kwasi poku se min kancho say my happy belated birthday na ba kon so e wa ha wonpo ha we Mr. and Mrs. Eshen say omoba nana ama Eshen wanyi mfie miensa okusuku e wo Pinnacle Heights Academy wanyi mfie miensa e wo Nursery 2 ene e wawoda enti happy birthday eko adema nti e de besi ya
we no Dominic edu asoso epese wo kire na adwenti ene
obeche na adwenti
ogina homa no so obe fan preko
Dominic Machi
eja
bibia by ready adon ya ho ya mo so
ne pacho mi ho ya pa
emrantie wo Cuba no o masetena te sen
edika ma min chao ene wa pamfo sanche ya hefo nyina unfortunately, maintenance I'm the producer but yeah, maintenance asem no. But I mean, say some more I cost ya. I mean, Chad and Dra, ya Akunya, Kushia, a bunch of canasem appearance. In fact, any piece from Crown and Koi, any other station. It's a funny person, be a issue in the same city. Na yetimite lekweno etudra you do ho akolan parents and any family pay cho in fact omo ni media for nya kasa omo popucho or you be otie YouTube ba na so asemu ba e ontimi YouTube ontimi biro na so tese ya kan ba na sama na kuma kwa ne ya ne papa na ngasa ye Cuban trained doctor in school the same school only they were in your material school until some media now people same way there no kana why worried kaka yenka say almost name to say heaven eja obi a school outside here can testify say at a point no sacrifice kaka why say uku we dia ni game na din na enye to say wo Ghana ubenya Diana will pay and all that. It's answer will be chrome and our. And young Catholic, you must know to happen. We feel almost the bar bonting, almost with the issue of stipend. And I may it for some traffic say GMPC, your reputation, Ghana in a can't be no, Ayana, yen to uniform. It sounds like a banner na Ghana 18 and a year same. Intimate Francola and call Amanani, the Yanka so. The job more Saturday mums can trade Janine. If I don't move, can't say, the combatant Janine be quiet movie. I just may put you on record, say, if you cannot more counsel any feeding fee, you just feeding fee, you feed your more 3 times a day. I'm a school leader.
I'm just a necessary, I did this kind of mother call. Na I did this share video na se pictures a wo send am aye no a enuane ni bi wo ho a gogomi se de yeta ka no no ewum wo share de egu TV so se a gogomi ewum nti no na se kana kokodu a wo ma complain ya kire mo se aduane mo de ma mo no enye papa na mo te ya nso a mo ne wo mo school no pay for kasa se kan de bram samfo no aduane ma ye nkwada no nkwada se aduane mo de ma mo no enye papa bibisa akoso
eja bibisa akoso yankasa na ye call every yearly monitoring now so COVID into last year ye ntimi anko that is the truth but you call twice since they went there
yearly afiafi
yearly every and I was at the stakeholders platform and ye GMT ye dey an say can yichia technically we manage omo Ministry of Health afi sikasem no kra no Bank of Ghana ka ho se na be ya omo se be ka omo sika wo na ade platform kese and you see the solve omo problem and making sure say omo tinye tsake amoma ba Ghana be Dr. Fuad Abeboa o my Ghana enti jumedie no enya ade bia be kese ye jomo ho abibiam ebiane se we me kai 2 years ago ye do ho no few of them ka say biane no need you know Santa air modern because different air modern you raise here and make kai say almost professors you at the meeting e ka say you need and for more omo lectures quite the same food no mudi
aduanti de omo man ye gogo me duane lectures no bi no mudi
me pacho me hwe TV engineer wo kan e bia
ani ahwefo hwe pa anti
I'm here to look at it but not to sound defensive. Your court meetings in about twice a year really issue where episode train say like school no train say it is not the quality of food but the type of food. You know students engagement. If students know your engagement with them. You even call there ever try me even a china quite no more meeting. Thursday a china no more meeting. If you catch on say we are in talks with the school. We don't understand why your procedure of report any resolving some of these issues or no more there TV so radio so never issues no base that picture we because almost send it by a black bean. Almost send it by any parents in our one platforms. Your three platform our phone in ours. Almost the basso. And I just send me at the course school. I was where your black beans, but what they as a source become on now won't make it. We didn't see we trap it now where they are not papa. I just me say you say they are sound defensive. But say yeah, a whole institution first will be what colleague say. The colleague for now man somebody Diania they are saying I'm the students they how can they do that?
It's a photo.
Making sure that you are resolving issues.
But photo yam 90 de buy school photo school for the buy you know. And your man the question be no mutual photo just to tarnish the image of the school and now said cancer be Ghana for ebenya ayemhihye bi de ama o mana.
E Ghana make us me on my back with the beans any source ya me huda. I'm speaking from experience. I'm here to look at what you are talking about. We are measuring.
But when they look
yes, we have a school. Yeah, the COVID or no COVID, you have a call. They are making sure that you are resolving some of these issues. And I mean, yeah, we've not left them. Even the China, you know, more meeting. We just platform now and you engage, you resolve issues. No, but you so air that resolve the issue.
Dominic, who you see any work school? Wouldn't how difficult it is, say we students, even who are my mumpa, then you'll be mine so. Sika ye de sika na esa mode ma omo no how often na ese call breben ese call
e je na machre mu no e di sika na je ye chama school ni dada
mo chwe sika na mo dada
yes say school ni mo e di sika amomo mo e 3 times a day there's difference between feeding fee and a starting is say bia toilet true bia obeto you know toilet ni e bia tanyo manyoma no
na sika na call
e je ndra mi chwe mu say the bia ma delay buy was when Cuba for a year to or more inflation 7 I gave by it. If you discount SNE or more Cuba for no deductions make a cost wrong. And now, our point is that we should give the money to them on table talk. Say, yeah, maybe $1 million, maybe a 4 campus. me fẹ́ kò fi no abẹ́jì ne deɛ ama no abẹ́jì ne deɛ we abẹ́jì ne deɛ ọmọ proposal no ẹjẹ asẹ́mu ẹ taking about 2 to 3 months and na yà sẹ́ni sika ẹwọ Cuba ọ̀sọ̀ ọmọ nyi sika yẹ dragi asẹ́mu yẹ finally ọmọ tí a sẹ́ sọ ọmọ bẹ́jì sika no and that was in I think about February yẹn na ọmọ tí a sọ ọmọ bẹ́jì sika ọmọ jí wìí sáà náà mission no wọ́n di sika kọ́ àti ọmọ manage sika no èyí sẹ́ bi a yẹ de 4 months àkọ́
wọ́n school for no ẹ̀ manage sika ni yìí.
No, that been part of the mission no. Yeah, Spanish kalima mission no. Yes, I'm to the district. Into mission on GMPT branch in Cuba. It's a mission no mo boy am decide man. Another health ministry only branch of Cuba. A ministry mission no and a boy. The Chicago come mission in sa. Mission also yenya musika bia 4 months. E bia yenya musika 3 months. Eti obia finishing with their account. That was what they did the last. And you put a team as now, and for more account details in Koy. Insist tabletop.
And Tisicano could do missing for no more the most and term. They do missing for no one the delay and now say. As you have for no processes and no money delay.
Cuba restrictions at us. The Kaiser Omoka tabletop. A deputy ambassador Neka says, "I will call bank Kaiser could just $5,000. Cuba." And once you share in Yatem. It seems to me because of for time cash, if you are $500,000 from bank, say, may balance the chairman or for time can be different is more defined. If you say, I can work, I'm busy, or more security, or no, any security, the other guys or the size can control. It's only to me, yes, sir. It is no matter is a moment go through the banking system and make sure so be a second and no, it take a little time. But, and yes, yeah. And I'm more up to and I totally disagree with them. And yes, sanity. Many will say I do musical. I see it up to April. And you know, company they are going to book allowance for us to come.
And delay and catch me.
You're more $250 every month, but only means on monthly basis. And yes, I'm here, maybe I say, going to go to 20 if you are trained, you are quarterly be there 3 months. They are sending.
Yes, son, I say, and it's and some Musu Samuel and Sababa.
You know what's not from any young quarrel. At that step for the young leadership, this is how we want to do it. This is how we want to do it. But almost, yeah, no more time. I'll 10 years, me, I student leaders. Ebanusa, almost the almost come master, maybe it's almost profane. I'm rejecting them. Every economy movement. We resolve this issue.
Until there's someone more can Oma ne can be no correct.
Oh, and America, anyway. So, and America, because the delay and buyer, it was their own making. Some cars are put tabletop, almost paid through their card. No,
woman almost saw one pen as a Cuba banning a chest of wood to me somewhere tabletop and a school for a song for the tabletop.
Even GMPCF. Financial transaction system, who won't even allow us to do that. Now we are about the 2 hour day. Send me some 100,000 and we cut to sign, and all the documents are more done. How would you do? And
here's a school for a can't some pennies and as a mission in a castle.
That is school is on the table to a mission is on company, and no money mission in the Montopano. Almost team commission could be mission 24.
I didn't know so say Bansa. Didn't know you deserve a Bansa.
I make us say. Students, EPBA, as I penny say, Munyamae. And it shouldn't be like that. And she said, doesn't allow us to do that.
You.
And there's the air, yes, she says, yes, mean some cash there, but your best school, your book, and over you, they will square over you, then they'll be different in some idea of Germany. It's something like that. I don't think delay me by. And then I tell make us as we speak. Yes, she says, I see a trio up to about March. We even have up to about April money sitting in Cuba. And so we can't TV so radio so can we need to stop in a delay. How will I understand?
Okay. When the first year na yempa brena ye ni sase mu nkomo ye beda CP Dominic Edua.
I will advise them. Your channel of communication.
Yo.
Maybe sure much na.
Yo.
Omo for issues in brand address o. Maybe your assistant say we are. So they shouldn't worry. We will resolve the issue.
More resolve one in term na any here. Me dance papa Dominic Edua na ye te ne nka no. GMPC wo mo na sponsor school for e wo Cuba nti wo no so do di anim mo yesa adwuma no wo si school for na nsamo ka ne bi nya no kore bi so ye no kore na okwa mo fa so ye ne hyedan ko ye nti ye be home so na ye twa hu tia wo ye ba ye be kasa de afa COVID-19 ye vaccine no se second batch aba na ye ba ne sen info ne benya bia info ne be wo ne nasefo ne ne nyine anyo amanfo bi ka se sonde aba no ena so da idi kan wo ye no won be chirichiri mu yetumi hu ne nyine nti modaro ma mo ntwe ne ntwe ho mra ye ba ye be ka pomuden ho asem ye ba sisi ya